Journey's a really important part of things I've done, and I've only just understood that. I've been making shows about communities, partly because you're in a real place, partly because things do take an amount of time to tell, and partly because wherever I've ended up in a site, in a conventional theatre, the audience stays in one place, and therefore all the conventions, all the forms, all the magical qualities of theatre are moving from this place to this place to this place without moving. Because we live in a real site, you have to move to the next location. Somehow I've got to move an audience to the next location.
When we're making the shows, we rock up in a place and we try not to bring too much stuff with us. And what we found is, if you bring everything, if you bring your kit and your set and your story and your actors and your music, and actually then you've cut yourself off from all the treasure you might find. And I think we've got braver and braver at leaving stuff behind and having faith that we will find wonder.
The work that we do is very much about the relationship between people and landscape. So the very first thing we always do is to explore a site really carefully and see what stories it tells really. And from there we start making attempts to meet with members of the community and take it from there really, but it's quite an organic process, I would say.
When I first did site-specific stuff, it was always the landscape that attracted me. And you'd be going to places ideally deserted, and you're looking at something that's just really evocative, and then you can start to build and you place something on there.
What is extraordinary about doing a piece of work in a woodland or in a quarry or on a beach is that everybody owns it. And when you're making work on a beach, people will feel more comfortable about coming to see it. The beach doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people who walk their dogs there and people who go surfing. And so there are a whole load of people who actually are part of that space. And it just feels more live and more real and more authentic. There's a key bit of bravery which Bill does, which is to not carry this kind of safety harness of narrative kit, you know, prepared pieces. I just think it's I'm always still amazed and awestruck by his capacity to let go of the control of things, to try and to see what comes in. And it's not hippy dippy liberal. He's actually very rigorous, but it's the process means he doesn't close the doors too soon.
There's something in the middle of the work I do which is about creating a community. Not because that's what I want to do, but because that's what interests me, it puzzles me. Most of the stories start off with a community that's formed, and they usually break up.
We're struggling to find a word that describes this work. And we're having to use theatre because we don't have a better word. But it's difficult because if you say theatre to people, audiences particularly have an expectation that they're going to sit somewhere in the dark and not be fiddled with, and be passive and watch, and maybe, you know, after 40 minutes go and get a gin and tonic, and then come back and have another bit. And and they're done to rather than participants, and it's really difficult. And I think particularly with, well, it particularly happened with Sutra. I know it happened with A Very Old Man as well, where the audience is enrolled into the same space as the actors, and they gradually become part of that community.
Quite astonishing how much it touches people, because all it does is introduce, like dropping pebbles in a pond, it stirs feelings, and what they make of those feelings is up to them. And sometimes the poignancy of it, you can really feel that they've been on something of a great journey.
People really are yearning to express what they feel about the world, and we've just lost the spaces where it happens. And I think this piece of work is finding a space for people to talk about, experience, feel the things that really matter. There's a wonderful book we've been reading by Rebecca Solnit called Hope in the Dark, and she says hope isn't a lottery ticket that you sit on the sofa and clutch feeling lucky. It's an axe that you use to break down a door in an emergency. It should shove you out the door. And that's another kind of core theme for us. There's a wonderful quote we used to use, which is the Miro quote, and he said, to be truly universal, you have to be truly local. And that, I love that. You know, you have to really don't do general, dig where you stand and understand, and actually you will find the things that are universal from that place and from those people. And that's so far been so true for us.